in this exercise, what we want to do is we want to take all the results from here and actually have them printed to the screen so it's easy to copy them. In order to do that, we will have several versions, and we'll start with a simple version where we'll say var r is, where r stands for result, and we'll say document dot get elements by class name, and we'll use the class name of lc20lb. And before we actually run this, let's see exactly where we found this class. So if I go inspect, I get lc20lb right here. So basically we are trying to get all the results from this page where we have the H3 heading, because each H3 heading that's a link right here of the search results has the same class of lc20lb. Alright, so now that that's clear, let's go back here and let's do this. And as we already know, this will give us an HTML collection that's going to be stored in the variable we called R. Alright, so now it's all a matter of running a for loop, and inside this for loop we're going to log out to the console each member of the array like HTML collection's inner HTML. So when I run that, I get all of these headings, all of these links of H3 tags inside of here. Alright, so that's the first version of us copying search results. And we could stop at this run right here, because I could say that I can just copy the whole thing. And now that I've copied it, I can go to the end right here and just paste it in. But as you can see, what I get is not really the result that I wanted, because this time I also have the VM whatever, and that's the virtual machine debugger from the Chrome console, and I don't want to use that. I don't want to have that and need to clear it later on. So I'm going to erase this. Obviously, the first version is not the best that it can be. So let's move on and see how we can improve it. In version 2, we are still getting the variable, but this time I'm actually using some properties on the document object, namely document.body.appendChild. So this appendChild method, let's see what it's going to do. So let's just copy the whole thing, shift insert, and now that I run it, I can see that something got added to my page, and that's it right here. So I no longer have the VM results that I had here in the console, so that's a little bit better. But the question is, can we do it even better than this? And let's think about it. What we are actually doing here when I append the child, we are basically creating elements, appending them to the actual document, to the actual DOM right here. And since we can do that, why can't we just first make new elements and then populate them? So let's see what we're going to get with this version right here. So when I run this, I get this whatever, and this is actually an H1, which you can see right here. So what we're doing here is basically we are appending a child to the body of the document, and the child that we are going to append is a newly created element. As you can see, we are using methods on the document object to create new elements, and we can create an li, that's the little black dot right here, or we can use h1s or whatever else we want. And now we can say var h1 tag is equal to document.createElement h1, and now we're basically doing the same thing as we did in the first two lines, but we are spreading it over 2 lines of code, which makes it easier to just look at and read. And finally, we can even append some inner HTML to our h1 tag, and that's the word whatever, and that's exactly what we get back here. So that's our version 3, and now we can move on to version 4. And in version 4, what we're doing is we're basically still sticking with the initial idea. That is, we are getting all the elements that have this class name, and then we're running a for loop where we're saying, all right, so list members is going to be all of the results right here, appended to the document's body, and then we're going to change their inner HTML to the list members inner HTML. And we're going to add another BR tag, which is going to basically print it very nicely to the console So it's going to be better than this. So let's see what we get. When I run this, as you can see, I get results nicely printed out one after the other. Alright, so that's our version 4, and we are moving right along with version 5. And here, when I go clear, I'll be able to see my code a little bit better. So now I can say, okay, for version 5, I'm still getting the HTML collection. I'm putting it in a variable. I'm running a for loop. I'm appending the child to the body for each of these elements. And then I'm finally going to create the BR tag after each of these elements on each for loop. So this is very similar to the previous version. So if I do it this way, now I just get a little bit white space as well between each of the items here. Alright, so that's all fine and good. But in version 6, we are going to finally use what we learned in the previous snippet. And that's, we're going to change the HTML collection that we store into the variable we called R, and we're going to change that collection into an array. Once we get the array, we can then clear the contents of the document by doing this. Because you see, if I do this and I just copy it right here and paste it in here, what this is going to do is going to completely clear the screen right here. Because we're basically saying, hey, document, set the inner HTML of body to empty string. And that's exactly what happened here. So if I do refresh, we'll get back our page. And since we are storing the ARR before we do that, we still have the results of the call for all the get elements by class name of this. We've stored them in the R, then we've switched the collection into an array. We're storing the array in a variable we called ARR. Then we're clearing the screen, and then we're running a for loop. And inside this for loop, we are appending a child for each member of the array on each for loop's run. And then finally, we are creating a new element, a BR tag, and appending it as a child to the body just after we appended each ARR member, each ARR item. So after an each item in the array, we are adding a BR tag. So let's see how this looks when we put it all together. So I'm going to shift insert, which is same as Control V to paste in, and I'm going to press enter to run. And now I finally have nicely formatted, easy to copy a list of all the titles of our search results. Alright, so let's press refresh and go on to the next version. And here we are extending our program a little bit because we are asking for the class that we are targeting. So we can target LC20LB, which is this, or we can target IUH30 or ST. And if we inspect the link right here under so that's the IUH30, and the description is stored inside the ST class. So that's basically 3 different sections of the same search results. The first one is the link with a title. The second one is the actual URL. And the third one is the description of the page. Alright, so now that we have these, we understand that we are storing user input, one of these 3, and when we store it inside here, we are going to get elements by class name, whatever we've put into the prompt, as dr, so that's going to get us our HTML collection. Then we're going to convert our HTML collection into an array with array.prototype.slice.call. We're going to store the result of this operation right here. Then we're going to clear the page, and we're going to append the child and give it some breathing room. So with all of this said, let's just copy everything, paste it right here and run it. And we can say we want to see everything that is ST and press OK. And here now we've got descriptions for each of our items right here. Maybe we could slightly improve this by doing it with another BR right here. So we can create another BR element and we can say document body append child. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to add another BR right here. So let's copy it again. Control C, paste it right here, press enter, and we're missing something right here. Let's see what is that. All right, so maybe we need to remove this. The error is right here. We don't need to use this. Missing closing bracket after. All right, so I see what's the issue. Let's go back, close the VM. We need to add the parentheses right here. So let's copy it now, paste it in, press enter, type ST, click OK. And now we also have some breathing room, so it's easier for us to see which description ends where. All right, so with this being done, we are almost at the end of this video, and now we can just see that we've put all of this code into an actual function that we've called titles and links. And then we've got this titles, all the code here, and this links, all the code here. And this is going to be a bit of a larger exercise. This time we're just going to see how it works, and next time we're going to actually discuss it. So let's control enter it. And now if we ran titles, control C, we're going to get this. And if we refresh, run it again, copy this one, control C, and paste it in, we're going to get the actual links. So basically, that's all that you need to do to quickly get results of a certain keyword search inside of the Google search engine, and to be able to quickly copy them and then later on use them for whatever purpose you want.